When I think of community building and being purpose-driven, there is one name that comes to mind, and that is Kristen Cantrell, and she is our guest on today's podcast episode. Not only does Kristen share all about her businesses and her heart for community building, but you get to learn a little bit more about her on a personal note. This is a great episode. I can't wait for you to listen. Well, welcome to episode 105 of The Real Deal, where real estate meets real life. I'm Janine Igliane. I got Ryan Hatcher with me.
What's up, guys?
And our guest today is Kristen Cantrell. And Kristen is a longtime friend of mine, but I'm really excited to have you on, Kristen, because of all the things that you do. I think this will be really fun, but I want to read a little bit about you. So you're a real estate agent, a community builder, an entrepreneur, yes you are, who has built a national platform centered on the core belief relationships are the most powerful strategy in business. Totally agree. And when you're not building communities or recording podcasts, you are a wife and a mom of 2 boys. You're passionate about creating spaces where women feel seen, supported, and empowered to grow. And I think you do it so well.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, so thanks for being with us and being willing to share a little bit about what you do and your story. And that's where we want to begin, because that's what we love, is just hearing your story. So tell us, where did you grow up and how did you get into this business?
Yeah, so I'm born and raised in Arizona. I went to Greenfield Elementary, Greenfield Junior High, Gilbert High, so I'm rooted in Gilbert.
Yeah.
And so I went to college at ASU, and then I actually started my first company out of ASU. I owned a vending machine company. I had 68 vending machines.
Love it.
All drink machines, all wrapped in Rockstar. And that was actually, after I got out of college and did that, I was like, that was actually way more of a learning lesson than college was for me.
Yeah.
And then I had like a handful of jobs. I gave myself my 20s to figure out, like, what do you want to do? And so if I tried something, I didn't like it, I dropped it and I moved to the next thing. And I ended up in real estate by accident when I was 27. I had a newborn and I was like, I cannot go back. I was like GoDaddy before that. I'm like, I can't go back to a corporate job. And so I had a local couple here that was looking for a recruiter, and I was like, I don't really know what that entails. However, like, I just want to work for like a family business that knows that I'm putting my son first. And that's how I ended up in real estate.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So when you think back to that entrepreneur spirit, obviously having a vending machine business, what were some of the lessons that you learned in that time frame?
Honestly, it was the relationship aspect. Every route that I had, like my customers they called me the vending machine girl. And it was just so fun for me. I hated driving the van, but when I like got to the customer's location, it was just like, I loved interacting with them and they really liked interacting with me. And so really just building that rapport with people, and then just having like, honestly, like the systems and like the structure and stuff. So I feel like I did not know a lot at the same time, but I feel like I learned a lot on the job.
Yeah.
So you filled them up yourself?
I did.
Wow.
I know. I had a big red van.
68.
Yeah.
And it was branded? Was it
branded? They were wrapped in Rockstar, and my brand was so cute. It was like my first time I got to like do a logo. It was called Vend It. And yeah, I was told do not do snack machines, and I bought one snack machine, and I know exactly why. They were just terrible. They broke all the time, and I learned how to fix vending machines. Oh,
But drink vending machines were good.
they're great.
Huh.
Yeah, they were great. And I had them in construction sites.
Smart.
Yeah.
Where did you get that idea?
My dad. Yeah, so I actually had it in California, and he's construction his whole life, and him and all his buddies were like, you should do this, and like, we'll help you. And so it was really cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I tried to get my kids to do it, but they weren't into it. I was like, hey, let's get it, because they even sell them like at Sam's Club. I think we looked into that too, right?
We did.
We should totally do that again. So you talked about relationships and how it was the people, that is what kind of you loved about it.
Yeah.
And that's totally, I think what I have seen with you, Kristen, is you love to connect with people, and then you love to connect other people to other people.
Yeah.
Where did that come from?
I think it's just like the gift God gave me, because I've been doing it my whole life. I love when I meet somebody, listening to them and being like, oh, like I actually feel like it's like names will come through my head as I'm listening, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like you have to meet this person. And the cool thing is tons of people who I've connected have become business partners, have, just like formed these awesome relationships, become best friends. And like, that's like, so I genuinely like actually really love that.
Mm-hmm. I think it's so important, especially in today's world, even with like AI becoming so prevalent, it's like everything becomes so impersonal. And the more it's like people are almost like that, they're craving that connection. It's like becoming even more important. I was listening to a podcast the other day and they were saying how in-person events are like growing like crazy because people would so much rather be in person learning, connecting than just on Zoom.
Yeah, I hate being on Zoom. Like there's a time and a place, and like one of my businesses is fully virtual, and so I totally understand the need for it, but I'm always like telling people like you've got to get out of your house and like be around people, and just watching what happens when, like, a lot of times people are like, it's just easier to stay home and work from home, and it's easier to not go to that dinner or go to that event. But I hear all the time at events, people come up to me and they'll be like, I am so glad I did this. Like, I needed this so bad. Or I was in this room today and it literally like changed what I was going to do with my business. And so just hearing these stories, it's like, you don't get that if you're just sitting from home.
For sure. So tell us all the things that you do, because you have a lot going on.
You're like a serial entrepreneur.
I know. And I wish I could say I planned it. Like, thankfully today everything like flows together, but it's like all just happened. So I have a podcast I started a decade ago called Moms in Real Estate. And I've consistently shown up for that brand. And today it's like a full-on business. We have a Facebook group of, I think, 43,000 women now. And so it's been really fun to like turn that into a business, because forever it wasn't.
How do you monetize it?
Sponsorship. So we have partners in it that have, so people that we vet out that are like amazing coaches, amazing, people that have products to offer real estate agents, and we partner with them. And then we have a referral network. So we have tons of amazing moms in real estate inside of our referral network. So that's one of my businesses. The other business is called the Hello Culture. And so what that is it's a nationwide company where real estate agents can buy a business in a box to build a local community, where they're building a community full of female entrepreneurs that's the opposite of BNI. So it's not transactional, it's relationships first. And then I run a local chapter of Hello Culture, which is Hello Culture Gilbert. And then what else do I do? I have a nationwide real network full of real estate agents. I have 400 agents right now nationwide. And it's funny because when you read off like my title, yes, technically I'm a real estate agent, but I do not sell homes, nor do I ever want to. And I sold one home when I was 18. But I've always loved, since I got this like job on accident a decade ago, being in the real estate industry, I love serving agents and helping them think of themselves as entrepreneurs and get creative, because real estate agents are on a hamster wheel, and they are never, like, so many of them are just like, where's my next deal? Where's the next buyer? Where's the next seller? Where's the next buyer? Where's the next seller? And it's like, you're never going to get off this thing. So if I can just help them and give them opportunities to do, like, create courses or to, whatever they're trying to do, start speaking, I love to be able to help inspire them and get them that opportunity.
What has been, like, when you think about some of those connections and helping real estate agents, like, what are some of your like success stories where you'd be like, I'm really proud that I was able to help this person do this?
Oh, I feel like I'll just go straight to all my chapter leaders. Like, I love seeing, they're already like have established real estate businesses, and they're kind of like, they want something else, and they're like, what is it? Like, I want to grow and expand my network, but I don't know like what that next thing is. So I love watching them be able to create communities in their local markets and create impact for these female entrepreneurs. Right now, one that comes to my head is Gretchen. She's out of St. Louis. Her and Kat run the chapter there, and they have like 40, 50 women that they consistently show up and serve in their community, and they'll do screenshots sending me like people that like just are so happy to be a part of that community. So
That's Hello Culture?
Yeah.
So what made you want to start that?
So by accident, like everything in my life, I had my local company here where I had female entrepreneurs in it, and I kept consistently hearing on Moms in Real Estate like, oh, I wish I had that in my local market. And I'd be like, oh, that sucks, it's not there, and they'd be like, I wish you lived here, I wish I could do that. And so finally, one of my friends, Randy, who runs Moms in Real Estate with me, she's like, what if I took this to Reno? And I'm like, what do you mean took this to Reno? And she's like, I want the brand. I'm busy with my real estate business, but I want the brand. I want the, like, basically like all of the templates, all the marketing. And so I basically just picked her brain for like probably like a month, and I built my business in a box.
Essentially a franchise, right?
Yeah, so it's a franchise. Yeah, so people pay to buy into it. We have like I think 38 chapters, and we're in Canada now, so I can say
Wow.
like we're
You're international.
out. Yeah.
That's so fun.
That is cool.
So what are the systems that you have built around managing all of these different chapters and businesses? Like how do you run all of that?
Support for sure. I have an amazing team. So I have a VA. I have my sister works for me. She's my first person, and I'm like, you just do everything I can't do. And now it's more organized. So I have her. I have a marketing girl, and then I have my assistant who basically builds all of our SOPs and make sure that all the details are tightened up.
Let's talk about marketing, because I think that, recently you guys probably heard it. There was like a lot of controversy because Gary Vee was saying, over 50% of your day, your week should be spent online marketing, social media. And then, what's his name? Brian Buffini came out and was like, no, like you should be spending that time relationship building. And it was like this back and forth and everybody's like chiming in. What are your thoughts?
I think you have to be doing both for sure. I always think in my head, like out of sight, out of mind, right? So if I'm in relationship with somebody and then that event's over, I'm out of sight, out of mind. So how am I staying in sight? And so that has to be through social media and engagement through there. So I think you need to have a mix of both.
One of the things that I heard recently, and this was kind of a theme out of Family Reunion, was the problem with our social media, and I think this is so true, is so much of our social media is selfish, right? It's all about us and look how great we are, and just posting all these great things and then just being done, instead of looking at our social media as an opportunity to connect.
Yeah.
So putting out content that allows for connection, and then actually going and engaging with others, commenting, liking, and DMing, instead of just posting and ghosting.
Yep.
And I think that's where people get it wrong.
Yeah, 100%. It's a habit for me now. Like I just go in and I engage for 15 minutes, like here and there throughout the day. But yeah, like you have to be. Otherwise, you think about even on my social media, I can tell who's consistently liking and commenting, and those people like literally stand out, and it makes me want to work with them,
Totally.
right? So I think when you're intentional with it, a lot of times people are like, oh my gosh, I don't have time, or I don't think about it. Put in your calendar. I live by my calendar. And so if I have like 15 minutes on Instagram on my calendar, then that's what I'm doing, and then I can cross it off.
I totally agree with that. And I think it's really important to be intentional with it, because it's easy to just go on social media and just be like, I'm just gonna like doom scroll, right?
Yeah.
And just like consume. But for me, I've started doing this. I was telling my team about this, where before I will kind of do that and veg out, I'm like going on and like interacting and just saying I'm doing it intentionally, like as a business activity, right? Of like, I'm going to engage, I'm going to comment, I'm going to DM them, versus just like consume.
We were talking about this in our meeting a couple of weeks ago. I think one of the most eye-opening things for me about real estate, especially residential real estate, is you have to be a marketer.
Yeah.
Like you have to do that. And if you don't, you're not going to be relevant at all.
Yeah.
You have to be a marketer, and equally you have to be a relationship builder.
Yes, and that's always been there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? But you have to do it a different way than
Oh,
we
for
used to.
sure.
Well, and you think about it, like regardless if you're a real estate agent or you're a home inspection company, like whatever, if you hear like, oh, you should work with Ryan, the first thing I'm going to do is go to Ryan's Instagram and I'm going to judge you, right? So I'm going to be like, if you have nothing on there, I'm going to be like, oh, he doesn't take his business seriously. And I actually have this, literally I was looking at different therapists, I know you know that, and I found this guy through my church, and I went to his Instagram. I'm like, I don't want to work with him. Like instantly didn't want to work with him. And so it's like, that's when I say,
what was it?
It was so bad. Like there was not a lot of posts, and what he did post was just like, there was no effort.
Yeah.
And so to me, I was just like, that's one of the most important things today. And so if you're not putting effort in that, like where,
For sure. I think I told my team this, you have to look at Instagram as like your resume.
Yes.
How do you want to show up, and how can you make it better? And what's amazing is there's no reason why you shouldn't nowadays. Like you can't claim what you don't know, because we have AI.
Yeah.
So ask AI to audit it and say, how can I make my bio better? What am I missing? If I want to show up as top realtor or whatever it is, what do I need to have in here so that I can do it and then go and do it?
Yeah.
And I love seeing like our realtor friends like show up better and be more intentional. Like Nicole's one that comes to mind.
Yeah.
Like, she's really upping her social media game, and I'm like so
She's
proud of
in my
her.
group. I love seeing her do that.
And we talked to her when we were in when we did our book club about like being vulnerable and being honest. And it's so crazy to me because, so again, this goes back to like what we're putting out there. So often we want to put out this like perfect and polished image, but sometimes it's the vulnerable, like honest side that people actually really connect with more. And it's important that we put that out there too.
Yeah. I actually whenever someone's like, oh my gosh, you're so put together and say stuff, I'm like, is that what I'm putting out there? Because I'm like, I'm not.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's so true. The more relatable you can be, the better. And that's always my goal, is just like, how can I be relatable and share my journey and not be perfect?
For sure. So you have like a passion for moms and real estate, obviously, and you're a mom. That's like a whole dynamic of balancing all these businesses. And like when you're an entrepreneur, there's a part of our brain that doesn't like shut off, and we're like constantly thinking and wanting to do this and make this better. But then you're a mom, and that's important, and a wife. Like, how do you manage all of that?
Yeah. Well, I always talk about this on my podcast forever. Like, I think balance is bullshit. I think sometimes I'm really good and then sometimes I'm not. And so I just try to give myself grace. And I try to set boundaries and try to stick to them. I'm not perfect by any means. But definitely like having, like when I'm home, not having my phone out and like just being intentional with that kind of stuff. Again, I'll go back to my calendar. Like, am I plugging in date nights? Am I plugging in like things to go do with my kids? And sometimes I'm really good. And then if it's on there, I go do those things. But yeah.
Thank you for watching the episode. You know, our podcast is called The Real Deal, where real estate meets real life. And I love sharing these real life stories, but we are also in the real estate business. And so if you have any real estate needs, maybe you're thinking about buying or selling or wanting to invest in real estate, we would love to help you. I totally agree. I think two things that you said. Number one, like it's putting it on your calendar.
Yeah.
Like I live by that. If it's not on there, it won't happen. So like even like to your point, even if it's a 15-minute time block for intentionally posting on Instagram, like put that on there. But the other thing that I know that you do, because I've experienced it, is you incorporate your family into what you do. So even if you're having, a lunch meeting or whatever, like inviting your family and making it like, that's so cool to be able to do that. And it's cool that we can, right?
Well, I love showing my kids. So ever since my kids were young, like I tell them, like my job is to like literally make friends and be a good friend. And so being able to like share with them how I'm doing that in my business and how I've made that my business is so cool, because I think that community, like I actually yesterday, like my coach said, community is medicine. And I'm like, I love that, because it actually is. And so the more I can teach my kids, like friends are so important, and like being around people and making people feel good is literally one of the things I want to like really help them with. So I just love bringing them a part of all this stuff.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite parts of how we roll our businesses, is very much involved with our kids. And they're involved in the business in so many different ways. It's the best. They learn so much.
Yeah, they do. I even pay my kids for tax strategy and explain that kind of stuff to them. Like, I just think, how cool would that be if you were like exposed to that at a young age?
Well, yesterday, I probably shouldn't say this online, but with my Pinks company, we cleaned this house that was huge, 25,000 square foot house.
Dang.
And I pulled my 14-year-old out of school and said, hey, you're going to work. And he was so pumped.
Oh,
he did such an awesome job. And I'm like, why don't I do that more? You know?
Yeah.
So this summer, he's going to work.
Oh, yeah, you're like all the cool houses you're coming to.
Oh, yeah.
It's cool when our kids can come and be a part of what we do, see what we do, and I feel like there's so much that they're learning through that, right? And being intentional with those conversations too, to help them to understand, like, this is why we do what we do.
It was a half day, by the way, so he wasn't missing anything big.
I'm not judging. I think he probably learned a lot more with you than he would have if he was in school.
I guarantee it. And he got to see how we interacted with the homeowners. Our clients, you know, and that speaks volumes. I mean, how much have your kids learned just listening to you on the phone in the car?
I brought my son to a content day because we all have to be marketers, right? And so he's like, you guys are so weird. I'm like, I know. Like, we are. But this is what we have to do to get business.
Right.
So
It seems like once they turn teenagers, it's just like instantly they judge their parents.
Oh, yeah.
And
Well,
make fun.
they're not even teenagers and they're judging
Yeah.
me.
Which they'll come back around and they'll realize, oh man,
Yeah.
my parents knew what they were doing.
Totally.
Or they were awesome, but I just didn't see it.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I think you even said it, like your dad was the one that encouraged you to do the vending machine. I know when I was 14, my dad was like, okay, you're going to pass out flyers to the neighborhood. You're going to offer to dog sit, cat sit, babysitting, like all the services. And I did. I like went around and delivered those, and I got jobs from it.
Yeah.
And then from there, he's like, okay, you got to go. And I volunteered at the hospital. It was called like being a candy striper. And we like just sat at the front desk and like directed people where to go and stuff. I even helped in the gift shop, but he like gave me this work ethic. And it was like, you're going to work. If you have the time, you're going to work. And I feel like we've done a good job with my son is still out. I don't know. We're still on the fence with him, but I'm trying to like instill that in him too. I was already telling him like, buddy, when you turn 14, I want you to do that. You're going to have to go out, put flyers. Like you can totally help people out.
Well, like this Saturday is one of my community Easter egg hunts where we'll have 6,000 Easter eggs. And who's going to be helping me put those out?
Yeah.
My kids are.
Absolutely.
And one of them is going to be the Easter Bunny.
Yeah.
And then one of them is going to be doing the temporary tattoo station.
Oh, cool.
So they're in it.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
It's a family business.
Yeah. I mean, I had to have a job at 15. My dad said, go get a job. So, and I always think that was customer service for so many years, right? So I was at Barrow's Pizza and I loved working there and I loved doing the front desk and I loved talking to people. And so I feel like that's like, I was so happy to have that job too. I think it's fun. Like you get to work with other young people and you get to learn that. And that skill is so important. Like I tell my kids, I hate going to Dutch Brothers. I don't like their coffee and I am like uncomfortable with how nice they are to me. But I'm like, that is like such a great boot camp for like a kid.
You know what's funny? Two of my best guys in my Pink's window cleaning business were Dutch Brothers.
Their customer service probably like way up here.
And they're
Totally.
studs. Because they just yesterday, we got a review from the homeowner and she said, I love how when I talk to the young men on your team, they look at me in the eye.
Yes, because
how rare is that?
Yeah. See, my kids have to get a job there.
Yeah.
That or Chick-fil-A.
Forces them.
Yeah, Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A is the same
I don't want
thing.
them eating. I don't want them drinking Dutch Brothers all day, but dang it.
Yeah. So, Kristen, in this season of life and where you are in your career, what does success look like for you? Like, how do you define that?
I honestly, like, I want to be able to remove myself from all my businesses and then be fine. And I feel like I'm actually like, I'm pretty close. Like, I feel like I have so much good support and like the way that I've built my businesses, I don't think I physically need to be there, which
That's
is
amazing.
Definitely like, I want to be able to work less and I want to be able to, do what I want to do and have that freedom. The other thing is definitely like being good with my home life and my marriage. And like, that is like such a huge focus of mine because we all go through this grind. And I don't know anyone who's successful that like can say they haven't been through like a breakdown. Like I definitely have. And so I'm just like so focused right now on like being healthy, physically, healthy, mentally, being able to show up for my kids in the best way. And so that's like more so than anything else, like when it comes to success, that's so important to me.
Yeah, that's huge. Talk a little bit, because you've had a health journey. Talk a little bit about that.
Oh yeah, I love my health journey. I'm like, how much should I share on here? I'll tell a little bit, but I feel like one thing that I encourage people to do is like, if you're not feeling good, like find out why. And people used to tell me like, I had a lot of stomach issues and people used to be like, oh, you have this, but what's the root cause? And I was like, okay, well, what is a root cause? Like I kept thinking like it's stress, like what is this? So I went down all these different journeys. I spent tens of thousands of dollars. And really when it came down to it, like if you look at root cause problems, like you're looking at things like heavy metals, mold, spike proteins, and parasites. And so I ended up like, for 20 years feeling not great and then feeling terrible and then figuring out that I actually got cellular parasites when I was young, that created just this horrible environment for me, which I think could have led to cancer. Like I definitely think like that is the route that it would have went. So, but it's just like I learned so much along the way. And God's so cool because even with my health journey, like he put so many people that in relationship with me that now, like, you know, the guy that like helped me literally is next door to your office. And I was in there yesterday and I'm like, I hope you know I'm in here every 3 months for the rest until you're like retired, because he's one of the best like people in my life who can help me with my health. And I have a handful of those people. So I'm just like so happy to have gone through this like horrible time, because now I'm helping all these other people figure out their root cause problems, like so many people. And so just been like a wild journey. And who knew? Parasites.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But you're feeling good now, so.
Oh, I feel great now.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy, you guys. Crazy.
Yeah.
And just the stories I could tell you, insane.
Yeah. I love that though, and that's what it's about, right? It's like our journey, our struggles, our hardship. That's why it's great to share some of that stuff online, because you never know who it could impact or help.
Yeah. Like legit, I'll tell one crazy thing. Like my mother-in-law, it was like rolling her eyes at all the stuff I was doing, and she got diagnosed with Parkinson's. And she shakes really bad and has tons of horrible Parkinson's symptoms. She went and saw him, and she has parasites in her spine, and she started doing the detox from it, and like over 20 of her symptoms have completely gone away, and she doesn't even have Parkinson's. So that's like one of probably like literally 50 stories I can tell you. So when you really find your root cause problems, and we all have root cause problems.
For sure.
God, it's so cool.
Yeah. And I think too, this is one thing I was talking to my husband about, like the world that we live in today, the food that we eat, like all of it, it's not how it was supposed to be.
No.
There's so many environmental factors, food factors that are making us unhealthy.
Yeah.
So it's like, you can't just take it for granted.
No, and it needs to be like a part of everyone's life. Yeah. I mean, just look at what's in our sky. Like, I mean, it's insane. So we're fighting every day, and some of us can shake it off a lot better than others. I'm somebody that it affects me really bad.
That's cool though that you're like able to share it. I know you've shared it on social media and stuff like that, and then just like having it impact somebody else is really awesome.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the coolest things about you, Kristen, is like your heart to help others is so evident in all that you do. To be a connector, a relationship builder, like I think that's just like a gift that you have.
Thank you.
When I think of people who are connectors, you're the first person that comes to mind.
I love that. Yeah. That's so cool.
Yeah. Well, what didn't we ask you that we should have asked you?
Ooh.
Or what do you want to share?
What do I want to share? I don't know. Oh my gosh, nothing comes to mind.
If someone is like thinking, hey, I want to connect with Kristen, like what would be the best way to do that?
I would say Instagram. Yeah.
Okay.
So, hey, Kristen Cantrell.
Awesome. Okay, we love to end with like rapid fire questions.
Okay.
Are you up for it?
I love those, yeah.
Okay, favorite color?
Green.
Favorite drink?
I was going to say wine and coffee.
Okay.
Yeah.
Red, white?
Red wine.
Red wine.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have a favorite food?
Spaghetti.
Interesting.
I know. I don't
We've
eat
never
it all
had
the
that.
time, but I do definitely like that popped right in my head. It's so
Like
good.
homemade spaghetti?
Yeah.
Or?
Pasta in general
Okay.
or spaghetti?
Like spaghetti. I love spaghetti.
Okay. I only eat if it has meatballs.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, same.
I don't discriminate. Yeah.
Maybe just straight carbs.
And I barely eat it, but when I do, I'm like, it's so good.
Do you have a favorite book?
Gosh, I read all the time. I read a lot. I actually gave myself a goal to read, like for pleasure, one book a month. I could tell you what I'm reading right now.
Okay.
It's Amanda Francis. It's called Rich as F. And it's actually really good. It's all money mindset stuff. So I have found that it's been like super, super helpful for me.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
You know, Gary Keller says that it's so important to read for pleasure, because I can get caught in that trap of reading business books only.
I know.
But I love to read, and when I read for pleasure, it's like the best thing ever.
Yeah.
And then I especially love it when they make the book I read into a movie.
I can't remember the last
Same.
time I did this.
Right?
Did you, The Housemaid?
No.
You didn't read that book or see that
haven't.
movie?
Uh-uh.
Okay, go. You need to do that.
You think so?
Yeah, I
I've
literally
heard.
read the book because I was like, the movie came out? Oh, I gotta
Okay.
do this.
So
Okay.
are you always disappointed by the movie though?
Not this one. No.
Really?
I mean, a little bit because
Yeah.
it's like it misses some of the
It
like
can't,
really
it can't be
cool
that
stuff.
detailed, right?
Yeah.
You'd be sitting there for 5 hours.
But also, like,
Yeah.
I think people that just watch the movie and haven't read the book, they miss stuff. Because
Yeah.
you're like, oh, that's why. Like, there's so much more that I
Interesting.
know. You know, we just watched
I-
a movie last night. What is it called, Elise? Reminders of Him?
Oh,
The
I
Colleen
watched-
Hoover. And
Yeah.
I read that book.
I
and
love Colleen.
I don't know the
Hoover.
last time I read for pleasure.
Oh,
So honestly,
good.
like that's how I was, and I was like, I'm not doing this anymore.
Yeah.
Like, and I read every night.
I love it. It's so fun. Like
It
I
is so
genuinely
fun.
look forward to it.
Me too.
Okay. Do you have a favorite sound?
The ocean.
Oh yeah, we
a
get
good
that
one.
one a lot.
Yeah.
Favorite podcast?
I don't listen to a lot of podcasts.
Really?
No, I should. I wish somebody would just like give me the links and then I
Yes.
could like push them and like not
Yeah.
go scroll through. I mean,
want-
I've listened to a lot of random good ones.
Yeah.
I do too. It's hard for me to just have 45 or 60 minutes, or if it's Joe Rogan, 3 hours.
I
I
know.
don't have
And I
time for
love
that.
Joe Rogan, but 3
Yes.
hours?
I like
So
the
long.
Reader's Digest version. Like,
Yeah,
give
me
give
too.
give me the Sports Center highlights.
Yeah.
You
But
know.
even with a book, you guys, like I've started, I don't even know how many workbooks because everyone's like, read this, read this. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh. And then I read like 3 chapters. I'm like, okay, I'm good.
Yeah,
like, I
that's the
don't want to
thing.
sit
Yeah.
and read these books all the
Most
time.
of them are just repetitive, or they're
They
just
are.
dragging it out. You can
Dragging
have
it
it done
out.
in 3
Yeah.
chapters.
Yeah.
So
So
what
true.
I learned this from Dan Martell. He wrote the book Buy Back Your Time.
Uh-huh.
Now that we have ChatGPT and all these
Literally.
other things, just ask it, what are the highlights of this book, and then read those. And then
Yep.
if you really like a chapter, go to that chapter.
Well, and then
that's a
put
good
it
idea.
put it into like your chat for your business. That's
Yes.
what's so cool about. Yeah, I'm doing that with Amanda Francis's stuff. I'm like doing the homework through chat and her book, and like it's so that honestly, like having ChatGPT while I'm reading this book has been like a year of therapy just in and of itself.
That's cool.
I know, it's been cool.
That's really cool. Okay, last one. Favorite vacation?
Oh, 30A all day long.
Really?
Yes.
I just heard about this in Florida, right?
I go every year in March,
Yeah.
and I didn't go this month, and I'm literally dying because all of my
Really?
memories are like coming up. I'm like, I want to
What-
be
where
there
is
so
it?
bad.
in Florida.
So it's close to Destin, which is where everyone's heard, but it's like a highway full. It's just kind of like, you know, when you're on PCA and you've got like Huntington and
Yeah.
Newport.
Yeah.
But it's in Florida, and they're all just, it's the best beaches. It's the best
I heard.
towns.
It's so funny. I literally just heard about this.
Wow.
I was like, oh, we should go.
And all the Airbnbs, it's like every Airbnb owner is like 10 out of 10. I'm
Yeah.
like, everywhere I've stayed, I'm like, I feel like I'm rich everywhere. Like
Yeah.
everything's just like so upscale and nice, and
I love
the
it.
same price as California, which is
Yeah.
a dump. You
Yeah.
know?
Right?
So yeah.
Well, before we got on, I was giving her crap because I feel discriminated against as
I
a
know.
guy.
Yeah.
Because all your stuff is women centered,
Uh-huh.
right? Centric. The reason I bring this up is because of your response to that. What did you say? You said you hear that a lot.
I hear it all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually would love to coach and mentor a man on community building. And I kind of have, like, here and there, like people have come to me that build communities in their industries, but like it is such a need. Like guys are lonely, and I do feel like we were talking about there's a lot of like hustle culture men groups, but I think that guys are craving like actual intimate connection with other men, not in a gross way, just like literally they want that connection. And
Yeah.
so I think that I don't know, somebody needs to-
And I agree. I was saying that I've talked to so many good men
Yeah.
that are entrepreneurs, and we'll all say the same thing. It can be very lonely as an entrepreneur. I mean, and that's the case for male and female.
Yeah.
But I think it's different for men.
Yeah.
I really do.
But even like the men that I work with, they know they can call me anytime. Like they shouldn't
Sure.
be lonely. I always tell them, like, I literally had a awesome guy, super successful that I work with, call me crying recently. Like,
Wow.
so I think it's just, yes, I create rooms for women, but like I'm in community with men too.
Yeah, I love it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks, Kristen.
You're
Thanks
welcome.
for sharing
Thanks for
with
having
us.
me.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah. So fun.
Cool. Thanks for listening to the Real Deal podcast. Be sure to like and subscribe, and you can follow us on social media at the Home Selling Team AZ.